the Slam Pig Spooktacular.
Would you fucking stop? We're not fucking Swedish, and I'm not 8 years old.
But it's Halloween. It's our Halloween episode.
I don't give a shit. That's stupid.
It's literally Halloween.
Why do you guys sound like you're Swedish? Welcome.
Transylvanian.
Okay.
Dracula wasn't Swedish.
What the fuck ever.
Was he blue-haired, blue-eyed?
It's stupid either way.
Blonde hair, blue eyes?
We're not fucking 8 years old. Can we just have a show?
Welcome to the Slam Pigs podcast. Since my intro was shit on.
Well,
Halloween
sucked.
edition, our spooktacular.
It's not spooktacular.
I hate that word.
Unless you watch the fucking show.
Bring that up on my other podcast last week, how I hate when people say spooktacular.
Yeah, it's not even a word.
It's one of those made-up words for a commercial.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Slam Pigs podcast, Hell in a Cell.
33?
33.
Double threes.
Patrick Ewing in the house.
Yeah.
My favorite basketball player of all time.
All right.
Michael, welcome alongside. I'm supposed to have Eric Amar tonight for the Hell in a Cell post show, but
he
Eric
was a little slut about it and couldn't make it. Yeah, I get it. Who's fucking CM Punk now, you little bitch?
There you have it. I did not say a word. He's having internet problems. I believe him. Michael's another story. Michael, welcome. Hell in a Cell post show 2016.
Thank you for having me. I know some of us are up past Eric Amard's bedtime because he has to do a show first thing in the morning. So, Eric, I'm sorry you couldn't make it, but there will be plenty of pokes right at you because I listened to the show when I was absent, and there were plenty of pokes towards me. So, time for a little bit of payback.
Well, I haven't heard anything as far as a rebuttal, but the gauntlet is still issued as far as you and Elliot from Kayfabe Today.
Yes, I was actually...
At Kayfabe Today on Twitter.
Actually, I think it was either last week or maybe the week before when Eric posted on Facebook that he needed a guest, last minute on his show. And I was one of the ones that volunteered, and he said that he didn't want to have me on the show because Elliot was not going to be on the show. Evidently, he needs his British friend on the show for me to make an appearance. I don't understand why.
Safety net?
I guess. He still is under the impression that Elliot knows more about wrestling than I do.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that when it happens. Also, big week for Slam Pigs, dropping our new series this week, Slam Pigs Cinema. Had our first contest. Melody, congratulations once again. Also, I sent out a tweet right after the pay-per-view went off the air tonight. Just sent a random picture of the crowd after that horrible ending to the Charlotte-Sasha Banks match. We'll get into that later. I want to thank you guys. I got 200 retweets and 300 likes on that already, so that's great. That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Getting our name out there.
Like it.
But yeah, it's Hell in a Cell, Michael. Let's get it right into it.
Get right into it. Where do you want to start, Travis?
We'll start from the bottom. Now we're here.
All right.
One of them. Jay-Z, one of them.
Oh.
Whoever sings that song.
I can't believe you just take a hip-hop song.
Roman Reigns in the cell with the new monkey ape man since he shaved his beard all weird.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. But it's not good. He took a goatee and turned it into a...
Grape Ape.
Yeah.
Do you remember Grape Ape?
Yeah.
The Hanna-Barbera cartoon?
It's not good.
Against Rusev. The show opened
Rusev?
You open with the Hell in a Cell match. So when you have three, I understand spreading them out. Do you open with the Hell in a Cell match? Technically, they had the Cruiserweight match on the kickoff show, but...
Yeah, I agree with how they started the show, finally. It went a lot better than the last pay-per-view that we reviewed, which... The main event was basically first. I'm glad they didn't pull a SmackDown here.
Well, in Vince's mind, this was the main event, probably.
No, in Vince's mind, the main event was probably worse than that. So, Vince was very adamant that he didn't want the women's match to be the main event.
Yeah, that was in the news this week. Did you catch that?
But it was the main event.
Yep.
So, evidently
H
somebody got in Vince's ear enough to the point where the women's match was the main event this evening.
A certain son-in-law got his way after probably a temper tantrum.
Probably.
Probably had his missus talk to daddy on that one.
Could have been. But regardless, this was the first match on the card. I actually enjoyed this match. I thought there were some good spots in it. I felt like this rivalry needed an ending point. Hopefully this is the end of this rivalry. Because I felt like this stipulation itself was perfect for this rivalry. It's been a very physical rivalry.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Usually ended in a cage.
Yeah, but not so much back and forth. That's my only problem. I think we've gone over this before with Roman Reigns getting the better of everything, except for maybe once or twice. Never in an actual match did Roman Reigns lose.
Yeah. Still.
Once again, it was kind of the same story this evening, even though it was a pretty good match. There was some. I did enjoy the accolade with the chain across his mouth. I like that. But still, Roman Reigns gets the victory in this match. it doesn't. If you're gonna have a rivalry go on this long, why can't it be a little more back and forth? Like, and never once did I think, okay, Roman's gonna lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It was kind of like, Reigns is gonna get the better of it every fucking time. Like, how is this? How does this rivalry pan out as far as in the mind of a viewer like yourself and I? I just don't get it as far as the booking. Like, Rusev couldn't go over once. Like, other than an outside the ring no match brawl.
No contest.
It's just kind of even at SummerSlam when they didn't have a match, Roman went over in that outside the ring. The match never started, but Roman got the best of it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, what do you do with Rusev from here? That's my biggest question.
He's damaged goods.
But Travis, your thoughts on this match?
I'm going to go the opposite end. This match did not resonate with me. No match they've really had on pay-per-view has left me pleased or just, I don't know. The psychology in these matches and this whole feud has been totally one-sided, like you said. The accolade with the chain did look cool. It was a cool move, but that should have been the finish. In my mind, I would have made Rusev win somehow. He would have had a dirty tactic leading to that, but it would have taken, you could have still made Roman look strong. You would have had to cheat and use that to beat Roman. You could have made it work out. I just think Rusev is borderline damaged goods now. Just like I feel Sasha Banks is, and we'll get into that later. Pretty much the same way I feel about both these matches. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the match can be good all day, but if the booking is horrendous and is lopsided and doesn't make sense, and one person is made to look weak, then I'm not going to like it, and I didn't like it. Once again, Roman and Rusev didn't pull through. I mean, the match itself is what it is. It was good. But.
I thought it was a good match, but like we both agree on, I feel like the wrong person is going over every time. What do you
actually? I had a chance to talk to Adam from Harder Name Podcast during this match. Quick little phone call, and he's trying out his free month for the network. Mm-hmm. He's getting back into wrestling after years, and he sees it. I was like, I see it with Roman. What you guys say? So even casual fans are they get it, like how they're booking Roman.
Like, I understand. I guess maybe Roman needs a belt.
Yeah,
but does he have to not lose it? I mean, can he lose it and win it back? Or...
He has only had it for like a month, to be fair.
I feel like Roman's much more entertaining when he's chasing a belt than when he has a belt.
I don't feel he's entertaining unless he's pretty much silent but deadly.
Well, I feel like his character is much more entertaining when he's chasing something rather than holding it.
Yeah,
I feel like
any babyface.
I feel like this rivalry has missed that, except for when he first won the belt. I thought Rusev was a very good United States champion both times. When you just started believing in Rusev being this top-notch heel that is going to be tough to beat, here comes Roman Reigns, who got a title shot for what reason?
Yeah, because he's a handsome man.
Because he got suspended?
Because he's marketable,
and he lost. He lost the big title match, so we're just going to put him in the U.S. title match because he wanted it.
Well, let's breeze by this because there's a couple parts that it's going to make me angry enough on this pay-per-view tonight. Here's another one of them. First of all, before we get into the next match, which is Bayley and Dana Brooke, big thing I want to say, and this was in Boston, a pay-per-view on an East Coast big city. Usually it's a hot crowd. Does this translate to how Raw has been the past couple weeks as compared to SmackDown crowds, where like even the smaller towns on live SmackDowns, your obscure towns, they're red hot lately? Does that say how SmackDown's been booked, how Raw is drug out? The crowd was dead tonight until about Enzo came out. Then they picked up a little bit. Bayley has gotten the Raw end of the deal in my mind since she's been brought up. She hasn't been booked right.
It's your next match tonight, by the way.
Bayley and Dana Brooke, the crowd was completely dead in this match. I saw a tweet earlier where it said you could hear the air conditioning in the arena. The crowd was that dead. Bayley gets your win in a nothing match. They gave this match like 7 minutes. It was very basic. Bayley selling the shoulder injury. I thought she sold that pretty well. A lot better than Baylor. A lot better than Sasha Banks sold
Finn
her
Balor?
injuries later. Yeah, Finn Balor. Shout out to Logan. Hopefully you'll have him on in the future. We're taking a little break from Logies. Mixing it up like we said on last episode. But yeah, this match was a nothing match. Bayley gets your win clean, Michael.
Yep. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about in this match.
Thank God Dana Brooke didn't win.
Well, Dana Brooke is probably the reason for most of this. She's very limited in the ring at best. Not to say that she can't work, but on a pay-per-view style match with a superstar like Bayley, they definitely wanted to make Bayley look strong in this match.
Yeah.
Bayley needed a win to kind of bolster her resume as far as the main roster goes. And this match was basically a filler match. Unfortunately, I know you were like, I hate to be right, but I'm starting to feel right because I think that Bailey's persona on the main roster is just not catching with the fans.
Well, I don't think it's been handled properly either.
Well,
It's a
I
lot
mean,
to
you
do.
can make that argument, but like I said, I think her gimmick is a little too kiddie for me.
Yeah.
I would rather it be a little more real for me, not so. Oh, you need a hug.
I'm on the Charlotte train. Out of all the women they brought up from NXT, the one that's impressed me the most that always delivers is Charlotte.
About goddamn time. How long have I been saying it?
I've been saying it too the past couple weeks.
You always
She's
pick.
the
You always pick
overall.
against her though. You always think
I
she's
used
going to
to
lose.
months ago. I used to.
I mean, I'm pretty sure when we did the prediction show.
Well, who would have predicted Sasha? Okay, we're going to get into this. Let's hold off on this.
Okay.
Because this is going to be a red hot
But
topic.
regardless, Bailey gets the victory here. Bailey has kind of been a little bit of a flop for me since she's come up to the main roster as far as getting over. I still don't think she's ever been over as much as her debut. I feel like each time she gets in the ring, it's kind of more like, for God's sake. The problem is her gimmick only appeals to female children.
No, I don't believe that because you see a lot of grown men, like the Smart Mark fans, like from NXT, wearing "I'm a Hugger" shirts. I see it all the time. Someone in NXT, she was so over in NXT.
Are you going to wear that shirt?
I'm not going to wear it, but I'm just saying, how many wrestling shirts do I wear for one? I'm
I'm
wearing
just-
the one I own just for the sake of the show.
I'm just saying, like, would you wear that shirt if you wore shirts?
I would not, but I'm saying there are guys
I'm
out
a hugger.
there. I'm just saying.
Does that really, like, resonate to most of the fan base?
Go back and watch NXT Brooklyn, the first one, when it was her and Sasha, and the best women's match that company's probably ever had, still to this day. It was better than any Trish and Lita match, in my mind, too, also.
But my problem is when your gimmick is hugging people.
It's gonna grow tiresome. I know, I agree. I think Bailey was newer back then. You know what I mean? She still had that shine. So I agree with what you're saying.
But even after that, you were big on the Bailey bandwagon.
I thought it would translate.
Sorry for
better.
all my alliteration there.
Well, I was stupid enough to have faith in WWE for booking her properly, and you know what?
You should know better.
I should know better.
I tried to tell you how it was going to go, and I think in a year's time you're going to see that she's going to be doomed to mid-carddom.
Personal challenge. Well, a year from now, October 31st, 2017, if we're still doing Slam Pigs, which I'm sure we will, we'll see where Bailey's at. And I'll owe you $1 or you owe me $1.
Okay.
A Jeffrey buck from Toys R Us.
Jeffrey.
They still have Jeffrey dollars?
I don't know, but that takes me back to my childhood.
God, Toys R Us is so expensive. They rip you off in video games. Well, that's another topic. That's another podcast. Here's something that we also talked a little bit about that we kind of saw on different sides of the fence. The club, Hold the Mayo. Big Gal and Little Andy, as Enzo called them tonight. Enzo cut a hell of a promo. I was a
As
fan
usual.
of it. I know I talked to Eric Amar during this segment. He's not an Enzo fan at all, but
why? Because he's not Canadian?
I don't know. People like different things, I guess. But yeah, the club finally gets a fucking clean with your favorite finisher, by the way, in the business. Yeah. On pay-per-view, they finally get it. I agreed with this thing.
My whole thing with the finisher, why do you need two people to do that?
I know. It's dumb.
What is the guy holding the legs really doing? I'm going to spin his legs for you.
Just in case there's resistance.
Yeah, I'm going to spin those legs so it has more effect.
He grabs him by his mullet-headed butt cheeks. I slice him.
I don't understand it, but whatever.
Yeah, I thought that they needed to win way more than Enzo and Cass. I didn't think Enzo and Cass would be affected by this at all. Halloween on my mind, zombies, infected. But yeah, I'm happy the club got a win. Michael, you on the other hand thought this didn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense for me because Enzo and Cass have pretty much been the most over tag team in this division since they've come up. I don't know.
New Day. You could make that
I think the New Day has definitely kind of fallen off as far as I'm concerned, as far as being over.
Yeah.
I think people are getting a little tired of it. I think it's getting a little stale for the New Day. I think that I don't know if it's their gimmick or if it's that they've held the belts for so long.
A little bit of both.
But I feel like the WWE universe is ready for a new champion.
Can we say the fans? I hate when they say WWE universe.
Well, I'm just going off of what they say.
What asshole came up with that on the writing team? Let's call it the universe, and now the Universal Championship.
It was probably Vince McMahon.
Well, I said asshole, so.
It could have been Triple H. Either way, they're both assholes. But I feel like as far as Enzo and Cass go, I think they're the uncrowned champions. I think the fans see them that way.
They'll have the belts. Man.
I think they need to have these belts sooner than later. Well, I guess people could probably go differentiate with me on that one. Maybe some people feel they don't need a belt. But I think eventually they need those belts to be more legitimate. I think they've been kind of relegated to basically the people that the New Day beat.
Thrown together teams.
They put them against fucking Enzo and Cass.
Or the club.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, the club couldn't beat the New Day, so let's put them against Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
Because they're the other babyface tag team that we have, and we'll just have them lose instead of the New Day.
SmackDown definitely has way more tag teams, it seems like.
You can tell that the division is definitely being more done as far as booking-wise by who sells the most merch. And the New Day is still number one in merchandise, not so much crowd reaction.
Yeah.
So I think the New Day is much more appealing to children than Enzo and Cass.
Oh, definitely. Well, all the inside jokes from Enzo that only
Yeah.
adults would get. Now, they could turn this negative, in your eyes, into a positive, have the club get, this makes them number one contenders again. Then they are the guys that beat the streak of the New Day, which you and I think both want in the end. Legitimize the club.
It should already happen.
Legitimize the club, and then turn this all around, and Enzo and Cass get the revenge for this loss if the booking's that deep in the writing, which I doubt.
I think we said this months ago. I predicted it, that it's going to be the New Day against Enzo and Cass at WrestleMania. I think you don't, like we've gone over before, you don't like the face versus face match, but I feel like at a big show like a WrestleMania, it could go over big.
I also feel like they just don't have the tag talent on Raw. They would have to do that. That's the biggest tag match they could make at WrestleMania.
Well, I know when I first mentioned that, you kind of shit on it a little bit.
But
I think you might be coming around a little bit.
Well, by this time, I thought the club would be. This is what March, February when we first started. When the club first debuted, which seems like forever ago now. So thought they would be booked a little differently, but maybe they'll turn it around by WrestleMania. They'll redeem the club and make them monster heel tag team, which I doubt. Let's be honest. It's no coincidence that their entrance, I also saw on Twitter tonight, came on exactly when the new episode of The Walking Dead came on, which a lot of eyes switched to The Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. So it's no coincidence. I don't think Vince is a big fan of the club. I think Triple H brought these guys in, honestly.
Well, I mean, conspiracy theories could be made, but I don't know that it was strategically placed for the club to come out the same exact time. Also,
a little ironic.
Also, I don't know why they have new episodes of shows coming on Sunday night. I mean,
because of football, especially in this season.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make much sense to me.
But that's for all the people that don't watch football. Yeah, there's definitely the ratings.
But I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me with all the competition. You know what I mean? And especially with Vince, especially tonight for me, I'm a Cowboys fan. Okay, for those of you that watch American football, I'm a Cowboys fan. The Cowboys are the most valued sports franchise in the world. For those of you overseas,
the Yankees are up there.
It was just done by Forbes magazine. The Dallas Cowboys are the highest valued sports franchise in the world. That's all sports all over the world.
And they're on a Sunday night.
That's more than Manchester United or the New York Yankees, stuff like that.
Other networks, they're not just going to lay down and die. They have to have competitive shows.
I'm just saying, if you were going to pick a night to have something,
Tuesday would be a perfect night.
Especially for The Walking Dead or the WWE. I don't know why you would pick this is twice now in the past few months that the WWE has had a pay-per-view on the same night that the Cowboys play on Sunday Night Football.
That's really weird.
I don't know if they want to see where they stand or they're deliberately trying to take ratings off.
Well, in the past month, it's official. Their ratings are at officially an all-time low on Monday nights.
Yeah.
They're just getting destroyed by Monday Night Football.
I just don't understand their thought process in pay-per-views. The same thing with TV shows. Why would you have a new episode of a TV show the same night when you have the most popular sports franchise in the world on television?
Vince is like one of those NBC guys. He thrives off competition. He has to go head-to-head.
Well, you're going to lose.
Eventually, you're going to get
especially in America.
Vince McMahon gets a lot. I know we're going off topic. Vince McMahon gets a lot of credit for being a genius. Let's be perfectly honest about Vince. He has gotten lucky over the years. In the Attitude Era, he got lucky. Lucky that Steve Austin was in that company. Imagine Steve Austin never be. You can bring The Rock in, but who was The Rock going to work with like an Austin?
No one.
It's all about timing.
Yeah,
timing is everything.
He's gotten some good breaks, but he has made some good ideas. I think. Without Vince McMahon, I don't know that they really would have gotten on that Stone Cold bandwagon as much as they did. I think once he realized what he had, then the show was definitely based around him. But there was a time there when Stone Cold was hot, and Vince McMahon wasn't really on the bandwagon for it yet.
The very beginning.
Yeah, it was kind of like, what the fuck are you waiting for?
Yeah.
And that could be the case for
And that
A
led
lot
to the
of
famous
talent.
meeting with Vince Russo and
Yeah.
Vince slamming his fist on the table and clearing his
Yeah.
desk with his arm, and then the Attitude Era gave birth pretty much. Bret Hart doesn't get a lot of credit either for kickstarting the Attitude Era in, because I don't think if Austin
Those
had
were
Bret
the first
Hart,
great heels of the Attitude Era.
that's
Were
when
the Hart
seeds were-
Foundation.
Yep.
I know a lot of people don't give Bret Hart credit for his mic skills, but I thought Bret Hart was great on the mic as a heel.
I think there's only been 3 times in the history of pro wrestling where there's been a federation had 2 guys that were equal top stars. First, you had Bruno and you had superstar Billy Graham, probably the OG of that,
Yeah.
the original gangsters. Then you had the 80s, you had Savage and Hogan in the WWF.
Yep.
Then you had The Rock and Austin,
Yep.
the ultimate, which is the
And then
biggest.
in the 2000s, you had.
Too many guys.
Yeah.
Too many damn
And
guys.
now in the 2000 teens, you have.
Way too many fucking guys with
So-
not nearly the talent.
Yeah, I don't.
And I don't think you'll ever see it like that.
Well, I
again.
think as far as in-ring talent, this generation has more than all of those generations. But
that
unfortunately,
can only get you so far.
unfortunately,
Ask Jim Powers.
it's not. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't translate as much as charisma, and charisma cannot be taught to anyone.
What's-
You either have it or you don't. It's what like Vince McMahon says: you either have it or you don't.
You're going to think I'm joking when I say this. And when I said Jim Powers, it made me think of this. You could take Paul Roma from the Young Stallions or Power and Glory. And if you guys know who Paul Roma is,
Yeah.
thank you for listening.
Paul Roma was a great in-ring talent. I think
Put him now on either Raw or SmackDown. He'd be a world champ.
he could be.
He would be a
Yeah.
world champ because
He had the body.
it is. I don't mean to be a negative Nancy, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Especially his stature, he would fit in great right now. But
He had charisma more than most of the
I thought he
guys in
did
the
too, but when
roster.
did you ever get to hear him on a mic?
A little bit in WCW when he joined the Horsemen.
Not enough
Not enough.
to get
But
a good
My
sample.
point is that was like the bottom of the barrel guys
Yeah.
back in the glory days. You could take that guy now and he'd be a top guy. That's just the state.
Now,
that
you
we're in.
put The Rock as far as in-ring talent in with the generation now. If you were just going off in-ring talent, The Rock gets lost in the shuffle. But
I've seen The Rock have great matches.
Yes,
though.
but The Rock has it.
You
You can't explain it.
once in a
it's just-
lifetime performer.
It's just when he
As they like
talks,
to say.
people listen. How many of those people do you have in the company right now?
And we're going to get right into this
Full-time talents.
this perfect segue into the Universal title match, which was booked in the middle of the
Yeah.
card. I think we should take a break. I need some more coffee.
Yep.
Um,
I need some more adult juice.
But to close the adult juice,
Yeah.
close this up, I think Kevin Owens, before we go to break, I'm really a big Kevin Owens fan, but it seems like all these guys, except your part-time established guys like Brock, they're missing something. Something is, even Rollins, you got to admit, something's missing to just put him over the top.
I think we already went over this. This whole rivalry has been kind of outdone and overshadowed by
Jericho.
Chris Jericho.
Exactly.
Another
And does
another
that say
older,
their faith in Kevin Owens?
another older talent that just has more of the it factor than either one of these guys.
Is that they did that because Owens is breaking his first world title cherry?
Well, I don't know if it's. I just think since Owens has won the world title, he's become a little less real for me.
He's become an afterthought.
Yeah, I like Owens a lot better without the suit. I like Owens as himself.
Not even the suit. It's with Jericho.
I think
It's a comedy act.
I think every great superstar needs that one promo that people go, "Oh my God, this guy's,"
That CM Punk.
yeah, that CM Punk.
Was that the last
Stone Cold,
promo like that?
that Stone Cold promo at the King of the Ring, maybe that Bret Hart promo, the Shawn Michaels DX
The
promos.
Die Rocky Die
Yeah,
promo when
I mean,
he came out of his shell.
I mean, it's just. I think every great superstar needs that, and I don't feel like the WWE with the PG era right now can really capitalize on that with the demographic that they're going after.
Well, speaking of promo, I'm going to take the first promo break.
Take
I
it.
just had a great thought. A lot of people don't remember when The Rock first joined the Nation turned heel. He wasn't a good promo.
No,
He wasn't.
no.
And we're going to take an example. We're going to take a look at one of The Rock's first heel promos in the Nation. Little random pick.
It was a little off the wall. He was kind of all over the place. You could tell he was kind of trying to find himself a little bit. But this was the
Let's
start.
have a listen.
This was the start of it, guys.
Slam Pigs Podcast. We'll be right back. Talk about the Universal title. Much more to come with Michael. Let's go to break.
It's time for The Rock, baby. Oink, oink.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Indianapolis. Triple H, let The Rock understand this for a second. Last week on Raw, he beat your ass in a cage match. And now this week, You're the #1 contender for the WWF title? Well, The Rock realizes why that is, because you got a 3-foot nose, you turn it sideways, and stick it straight up Vince's ass! Triple H, The Rock says, at this pay-per-view fully loaded, #1 contender or no #1 contender, The Rock is gonna do to you exactly what he does best, and that's lay the smack down on your candy ass! Now, on to badass Billy Gunn. The Rock understands what took place. The night you won King of the Ring, you got down on your knees, put your little hands together, and you said a prayer, and it sounded like this. Oh, dear God. You see, my name's Billy, and I just won King of the Ring, but there's one problem. Everybody still thinks that I absolutely suck.
Welcome back, Hell in a Cell Post Show, guys.
Yep, we are
The main event, Oh wait, history was made tonight on this show.
was not the main event.
The women main evented for the first time ever tonight. History making.
At least
night.
on a pay-per-view.
On a pay-per-view, yes. Which is big time news. That's a huge deal.
They're doing it on Raw. Evidently, they have to do it on pay-per-views now too. So,
But the Universal title match, getting the middle of the card treatment. Kevin Owens defending against Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell. Michael, in my mind, in my eyes, my opinion, this was the match of the night. Spot of the night where Seth Rollins, you missed this spot. You had to step out and go to the bathroom. But I'll cover for you. As you know, because I'm the host. Let's be real.
fucking go.
2 tables were set up to the outside of the ring. Seth Rollins went to powerbomb Kevin Owens. It was botchamania at first. It was recovered very well. He couldn't get Owens up all the way. Surprise, surprise. But he straight up just got him up. He just struggled through it.
Muscled him up.
Muscled him up. And spot of the night to the outside. Owens to the tables. Jericho ends up coming down, causing interference, and locks himself inside the cage with the new referee. Just double team moves. They hit him with the chair a bunch of times. Reminded me of WrestleMania when Austin kept hitting The Rock with the chair. And that was kind of the finish. It was kind of lame. But yeah, that's pretty much how it went. And Owens retains. No Triple H, which surprised the hell out of me.
When does he come
I thought
back?
when that ref went down, it wasn't Jericho coming out. The crowd was chanting Jericho. In my mind, I was like, yeah, Triple H is what you should be chanting. Nope, here comes Jericho, who got a huge pop.
Like I said, I think Jericho is the most over in this whole feud.
Yeah, that's sad.
For some reason, like it's not like Jericho's like a genius with the wording that he's chosen in this whole feud. He's very childish.
I think it's more the list being over maybe than Jericho.
That and well, you stupid idiot. Like it's just kind of.
But that's why it's over, because it's so basic, I think.
Yeah.
And it's silly. Let's see how much legs it has to it.
I mean, it's going on for this long.
That was the Universal title match, Michael. I mean, right in the middle of the card. What does that say?
I picked Rollins in this match, so
Yeah.
I was wrong.
I picked Owens. I was right. I thought it was too soon to take that
I
belt
feel
off.
like Rollins has to have the belt to set up this Triple H feud.
I don't think he does.
I think once he gets it back, the Triple H feud will resume. But how many title matches do you give him?
I just don't think they would have went to all the effort to have Triple H interfere and give Owens the belt to have him lose it in a month.
Well, it's not been a
And
month.
he's not going to defend it at Survivor
It's not
Series.
been a month. It's been a couple months now. He's
No.
defended it twice against Rollins now.
Okay, 2 months, but still, is
So-
that a long reign? Even in 2016.
Well, you said ratings are at an all-time low. So when
that
do
does
you,
fall on the champ's shoulders at the end of the day.
I mean, when do you say enough's enough? We need to go a different direction. I'm not saying that it's
One
all...
Direction,
No, that's
your favorite band.
That's awful. It's just as far as I'm not saying that it should all be put on Kevin Owens' shoulders, but I feel like he hasn't been the focal point of the feud, and he's the champion.
I don't think any of it
I feel
should
like
be put on Owens'
I feel
shoulders.
like him and Rollins have both kind of fallen into the background of this, and they're supposed to be the ones vying for the belt. And like I said, if it's going to be more believable, I think you have to take out one of those elements for for the championship to really take the focal point.
At this point, they've made the best friends gimmick so much that they're going to have to make it. They're going to have to make them split up and feud over that belt. They have to. There has to be something. You know what I mean?
I get it. I just don't know what if you're going to do that. What do you do with Rollins?
And for when people blame the talent, because I'm not one of those people that say that agrees with it falls on the champ's shoulders. I think it falls on the booker's shoulders. The booking always.
Well, and like we mentioned before the break, I think a lot of the problem is there's not that many guys on the roster that have it.
Right. And I stand
Great,
corrected.
great in-ring talents.
Yeah.
But as far as like I said before, the in-ring talent in the company right now is better than I think it's ever been in its history.
But on the other side, I was going to say, a lot of people say we're in the reality era, whatever era we're in. I call it the botch era. This is the most botchy era of wrestling. The past couple years, guys botch a hell of a lot. For all the good stuff they do, a lot of sloppiness.
It's more the indie style.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I mean, you're going to have botches when you go for crazy shit.
Which I was going to correct what I said earlier also when I said it falls on the booker. Sometimes, yes, it does fall on the talent. If they go out there, Sin Cara, that was on Sin Cara. Because they tried to push Sin Cara, the original Sin Cara at first. He just botched everything. So that's a case of it being on the talent. So I stand corrected. But match of the night for me, the Universal title match, Michael.
I thought it was a good match.
Where do they go from here? Next month, I think it's going to be the Survivor Series, SmackDown versus Raw, so I don't think the title is going to be defended.
Well,
and I don't think they'd want to do that with the Goldberg being on the card anyway to take shine off the...
I think you have to defend something. It can't just be all Survivor Series matches and then you have Goldberg versus Brock by itself.
Our favorite Survivor Series are when there were just Survivor matches.
Yes, I get it, but if you're going to have that match main event Survivor Series, it's not going to go over well.
Yeah.
I think I've already commented on this. We've already seen that match. We'll go into this segment now.
We've totally covered that, though, last week.
It's been officially announced now.
It's been announced next month.
Goldberg versus Brock 2.
Yep. They're booking it. They're saying fantasy warfare comes to reality.
Yeah.
They show video game clips. And they promoted this match tonight. They showed the whole promo package like the match was about to happen.
Yeah.
Right before the main event. And when that happened, I was like, piss break. Because I'm going to see it next month. Why did they do that?
But if you notice, they haven't really mentioned that they've already wrestled before.
They showed a lot of clips.
I mean, they showed a few of them, but they didn't show the important stuff about the match where pretty much the fans shit on it. And that the only star that got over in that match was Stone Cold. And he was the ref. And he had been retired.
And those fans in the arena in Madison Square Garden got themselves over that.
Jesus. I mean, and you're going to do it again? Like,
it's a different time, though.
Well, I'm just saying.
Different fans.
When do we get off of this old stars like having matches together? It seems like WCW to me. This is kind of what it strikes me as. Like, because there was a comment made earlier this week I read on Google. I Googled it, just WWE news. And it said that Vince McMahon would be open to anything as far as selling the company. This is where it seems to me like Vince McMahon's kind of like getting in desperation mode, kind of like WCW did when they did the Hogan-Piper match. Or when they did the Hogan-Warrior match like 10 years after. You know what I mean?
People say the ratings don't matter, but they do still matter.
They do still matter, and I feel like WWE is getting into that, just dipping into that well too many times, like with The Rock and Cena. It's just getting to the point where we're tired of seeing. I know that like it's coming to fruition where it's we don't have enough it guys as far as charisma, but we don't want to see old guys going in there that haven't wrestled in fucking 12 years, going back in for a match like they did with Sting. They did the same thing with Sting. Sting and Triple H. It's supposed to be a dream match.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Awful.
It was a terrible match in itself anyway. That's why they had to have all these guys come out with DX and NWO to make the match.
Even the interference was old, part-time guys.
Yeah, it was just...
It was bad.
It's basically a nostalgia thing.
It really sucks we weren't doing the show when that happened, because I could imagine how much we would have shit on that.
Yeah, it was...
Post-show.
That's where I feel like they're going with this match.
I feel like the only thing keeping WWE afloat right now in my mind, like I say, we're in the nostalgia era. They're relying on subscriptions for their network, and that third hour on USA is keeping them afloat because they get so much more money for that third hour. And that's why they're never going to go back to 2 hours anytime soon.
It just got...
And part-timers.
Yeah, it's just gotten to the point where it's... Like, we know what's going to happen with this match.
Well, flat out say it. The only thing that's going to sell this next pay-per-view is two part-timers.
Yeah, but is it but it's kind of like we know we're going to watch a Demolition Derby. Like, we know it's going to be a train wreck.
Well, we're different. We have to watch these shit fests because we got to. Our loyal listeners depend on our opinions.
But I think
for the casual fan,
most fans know that this match is probably not going to be very good.
But they do seem hyped.
If
fans do seem.
If Lesnar,
this is something we also need to talk about this week because we're not going to do Raw review this week because it's too much show. Sorry to cut you off if you want to finish. I didn't mean to. I just had a brainstorm.
Go ahead.
Raw last week. Did you see the Brock Lesnar promo in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Who the fuck booked that? Rumors backstage, Vince cut that short, hit his music because he was unhappy and pissed off extremely to the reaction. Brock Lesnar getting a babyface reaction. What the fuck did you expect?
It's in his hometown.
What the fuck? He even had a custom Suplex City shirt with Vikings colors.
Yeah, when I watched it,
Jesus.
it was kind of like, well, why are they ending this promo now? There was no definitive end to this promo.
This could be for the show. We'll have I think at the end of the year, by the way, I don't think we brought this up. Another brainstorm on top of my head. We should have year-end awards for shit fest of the year. This has to be Bonehead of the year in my mind. Bonehead booking decision of the year. What the fuck was
What
that?
did you expect?
Exactly.
It's and secondly, why would you do that? Like, the guy's getting cheered like fucking God, and you're gonna take that away. I think if anything, that makes the match more watchable. That there's fans cheering for both guys. It's the way it should have been the first time, but unfortunately, it wasn't that way because the fans knew that one or both guys were going to be leaving soon.
Yeah.
So now you know that again. You know Goldberg's not going to wrestle again after this. And you know Lesnar's going to be gone for a while, at least till WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Or the Rumble or whatever.
Well, kind of breaking news. They announced on the pay-per-view Goldberg's going to be on Raw tomorrow for what that's worth.
Well, he's going to have his rebuttal again. It's just...
Hopefully not
And
the
I don't know
members
how...
only jacket.
And I've never felt great about Goldberg on a microphone. And that's just something...
How did you feel about it?
Even when he came back, I thought it was...
Ever.
Like a lot of people... Yeah,
Like,
it's just... I've never liked Goldberg on a microphone. I don't think anybody else has either. I think it got cheers because it's the first time back.
I think Brock's worse on the mic.
Well,
honestly.
Brock doesn't talk. That's
when he does.
It's just... Well, that's why he has that mouthpiece.
Exactly.
I think Paul Heyman makes Brock Lesnar a lot more...
In that era in WCW, who would you have put as a mouthpiece for Goldberg? Father James Mitchell, who managed Glacier and Mortis and Wrath?
Yeah.
The priest
That's
guy?
who I'd have picked.
The evil
Are
priest?
you fucking kidding me?
Sonny Ono? Shout out to Sonny Ono. He never gets a mention.
I know this might sound weird at first, but think about it for a second. Don't jump to conclusions when I say it.
I want to jump to something real quick. I feel like we should do a Glacier match tonight for cinema.
It could be, but I want you to think about this as a mouthpiece
Gotcha.
for Goldberg. Now, I know you're going to jump to it and be like, that doesn't fit. Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. With Goldberg.
I'm just picturing Goldberg in some horrible dungeon.
Well, no, it has nothing to do with the tire.
You're putting Jimmy Hart on it.
Jimmy Hart is one of the best talkers ever.
Would Jimmy Hart have how he had a custom jacket for this guy he was managing? Would he have a custom Goldberg? Head to toe Goldberg jacket.
I don't know. Or
would it be a serious Jimmy Hart?
I think the perfect fit for Goldberg in WCW, Bobby Heenan.
I don't know. Goldberg's kind of intense, and he's a babyface.
Yeah,
Bobby
but I'm saying if you need a mouthpiece for somebody like that, I'm not even saying keep Goldberg a babyface, but could you imagine Goldberg with Bobby the Brain Heenan? Like, Goldberg is that quintessential, like, unstoppable force, and now he's with Bobby Heenan.
Like 80s Bobby Heenan, like
yeah.
I
mean, Bobby Heenan with him, Bobby Heenan with Mr. Perfect, I thought was awesome.
Yeah,
and Mr. Perfect was incredible.
Well, Perfect could talk too, and they complimented each other. They play off each other.
Yeah, but I think Bobby Heenan maybe with Goldberg would be a good fit. You might not see it, or even Paul Heyman with Goldberg. It's just
Paul
kind
Heyman
of
with anybody. Let's be honest.
Well, no, not anybody,
Pretty
because
much.
There's been failed times.
You see a heel scene
Curtis
with Paul
Axel.
Heyman. We're getting way off topic.
Curtis Axel, Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase,
I thought the Curtis Axel thing had legs, and we said this before. WWE cut it short.
Cesaro,
even more so. We'll talk about Cesaro in a little bit. Let's move right along and get through this show, Michael. Cruiserweight title match. Brian Kendrick challenging for the title against TJ Perkins. Mr. Video Game promo.
Poikins.
TJ Perkins.
TJ Poikins.
TJ Perkins.
That's how he talks in
Yeah.
my mind. I said in my mind a lot tonight. They got a lot more time tonight. Let's move. I'm trying to pick the show up. Does that mean it was better? No, it doesn't. The crowd was even less invested. This has been a flop.
Well,
I think they needed to get this belt off Perkins. I think he's been a
I
flop.
don't even know that
everything
it was Perkins.
I think everything they've given him to say in a promo has been awful. It was all like video game jokes. It's just been terrible. And
Well, you love that music and his entrance at first, and
That's
now
it.
you're jumping off the bandwagon.
I think he's a good wrestler. I wasn't on a bandwagon.
you were jumping on it.
Go back and listen.
He won the CWC. You were all about it, and then
That was seems like forever ago already.
that
They
was only-
treated that serious, and
that wasn't that long ago.
I know. And they weren't giving him awful promos. They weren't giving him any promos really. They just let him go out. So it didn't translate well to the main roster.
So he
far.
fits right into the roster.
I don't think-
Basically. He's another great in-ring talent that has no promo skills.
Exactly.
And Brian Kendrick is the same thing.
TJ Perkins reminds me of Evan Bourne with a video game gimmick
Could be
for the most
that,
part.
and you also have fucking Brian Kendrick.
He's 30. How old is he, Mike?
He's 37. Oh my God! How is he in a cruiserweight match? This guy gets himself out of bed, gets on his walker, he comes down to that ring, and he gives his all.
And he takes a nap.
Yeah, he
'Cause he's
takes a
old.
nap.
37.
He's 37. How many times do we have to fucking hear that?
I will say, moment of the night. I don't know if you heard this. It was very clear on the audio. A fan yelled at ringside to Brian Kendrick, "Why don't you get a fucking haircut, hippie?" It was clear as day. I don't know if they're going to edit this out of the replay, but I'm kicking myself. I wasn't recording this on my DVR. It was great.
I
And
heard.
everybody heard it too on Twitter. Everyone
I
was tweeting
started,
about it.
I started laughing.
It was great. But Brian Kendrick gets your
Hey, you know what
win
that
with-
reminds me of? When I took you to an Orioles game a couple years ago. We were sitting in the left field seats. And the left fielder's out there, and you're saying, "Get your hands off your hips. Be a ball player, you piece of shit."
Hey, everyone popped. Everyone around us popped. Fans liked it. I didn't say piece of shit.
You
I did not yell you piece of shit.
You
I would have
did.
got ejected
You
if I did
did.
that.
You did.
There
You
were
were-
ushers all around
You were
us.
half drunk, but it's all right.
We just got there, I think.
No, this was in like the 7th inning when they stopped serving alcohol. Thank God.
Well,
But get your hands off your hips. Be a ball player.
I didn't say piece of shit. I remember saying get your hands off your hips. But Brian Kendrick with the Captain Morgan, Captain Sook, Dr. Hook, the movie with Rufio.
Well, let's go into the ending.
Roofie.
More than anything.
Oh.
Kendrick had kind of feigned an injury here to where
Yeah.
Perkins was a little concerned.
Good psychology.
Yeah.
Veteran psychology.
Perkins comes over to check on him, and when he does, he catches a headbutt, and then it goes into
Was that
Finish.
his rebuttal?
good one.
The match itself, it wasn't a bad match. None of these matches have been bad. The cruiserweight matches.
Well, I feel like
for one. Go ahead.
I feel like they have the wrong two people in the title match.
That's number one. My mind.
That's my biggest thing. Not that TJ Perkins is a bad worker, and not that Brian Kendrick is terrible, but I felt like the wrong person won the CWC for one. Felt like it should have been Cedric Alexander.
I think it should have been Kota Ibushi.
Well,
honestly.
Kota Ibushi wasn't going to sign with the company, so you're not
He's
going to.
back in NXT.
Yeah,
Apparently, there's rumors he signed.
but I'm just saying, at the time, he was not going to sign with the company, so why would they put the belt on him? Cedric Alexander, on the other hand,
I think he'll get it eventually.
was, I think, almost far and away the best talent in that whole tournament. I've watched every match now. I've watched them all on YouTube.
Where's
now.
that Jack Gallagher guy? That was one of my favorites. The British gentleman with the red hair.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Haven't seen him yet. They said he was on the main roster.
Just saying.
It reminds me of a Regal.
I thought Cedric Alexander should have won that tournament. And Rich Swann is very over. He's got the most.
I think that'll be the next feud with Kendrick because he beat Kendrick on Raw.
Well, I think Rich Swann has the most charisma out of all of them.
Obviously.
But that's because his character has the most charisma. He's a dancing guy. He's kind of like fucking Flash Funk, except not as gay.
He's like Eddie from Tekken.
It's
know what I'm
just,
talking about?
Yeah. He's
He
kind of
never
like
stops.
he reminds me more of like a cruiserweight Flash Funk. But I never thought I'd say that in my life. But I did.
Ooh, that's a low blow.
What?
Flash Funk? I don't know if I'd stoop that way.
Think about the characters.
Flash Funk was way
Now,
younger.
Rich Swann doesn't come out with girls.
He doesn't come out with prostitutes and
yeah,
a pimp outfit.
Yeah, but he has the same game. They both dance around and fucking do flippity
I wish we just
doodles.
had that video you doing that.
Yeah.
That sarcastic, snarky dance where you're not
Sorry.
really into it.
Sorry.
Just dancing around.
Well, that's what he does. I mean, it doesn't really appeal to me, and I don't think Rich Swann is that great of a cruiserweight talent in the ring.
I
But
think it's good.
he's good.
He
but
does
I don't-
standing 450 for
Yeah.
Christ's sakes.
Yeah, but so does fucking Tony Nese.
I think Tony Nese is overall
I think he
your
is
best
yes,
talent.
I think he is too, but he's a heel.
Looks like Neville's dad, but
Except not as funny looking.
True.
He actually looks like a normal person. He doesn't have a three-pound chin. He doesn't have like a massive overbite, and it's to me, Neville is the funniest looking wrestler I've ever seen in the face.
you were talking about. He's like an orc from Lord of the
He
Rings.
does.
You were talking about your list of reasons on the cruiserweight thing. I'm gonna go ahead and finish your list for you because I think you agree. And what I think's hilarious, I think we said this with the Erica Mard episode, our 25th special. You both hoped it wouldn't end up like jokingly said Sin Cara,
Yeah.
like how they had special lighting.
Yeah.
They did it with the purple.
They've done that.
The purple.
Yeah.
I've had enough.
I'm sick of it.
Just make it like every other match on the card.
Why can't it be just a? Why do they have to have that?
It takes away. I don't know.
They
it makes,
try to
it
make
makes you
it-
feel
they
like
try to
these
make-
guys aren't good enough.
But yeah, they try to make it look so special that they make it look small time. To me.
It's just funny they really did the Sin Cara
Yeah.
thing, which I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty smart, so.
No, but you said that jokingly, like no way they would do that, but technically they kind of did that. Another thing is
Maybe they listen to the show.
my last reason, and then we'll move right along.
Hundreds
from
of
the
people
cruiserweight.
do.
We'll move right along from why the cruiserweight division's been a flop in our eyes. I think we both agree on that.
It's definitely, my biggest fear is what they've done with it.
You need more established veteran talent. Where are Kalisto and Neville in this division? They're noticeably absent. You know, casual fans notice Kalisto.
Yeah, but nobody wants to see either one of those holding a belt.
But they can put over new guys. As you know what I'm saying?
I want to see Cedric Alexander with that belt. And I would
Cedric
like to
Alexander Neville would be a great match.
I would like to see the cruiserweights get more camera time as far as promo. I want to see what these guys have. We know CJ Perkins is mediocre at best on the microphone.
I think the bottom line to wrap up the cruiserweight talk, if they're going to do it like this, just make it its own show. If you're going to go the route of own lighting, just make it its own show, like it was.
No promos. We'll just have everybody wrestle and raise hands.
I'm just saying, you might as well. What's the point?
I disagree.
No, I'm just saying, but the way they're doing it, I don't think it should be its own show. I think, well, you think it should blend in with the rest of the show, no special lighting. But the way they're doing it, you might as well make it
Think
its own
about
show.
the cruiserweight division before.
WCW.
No,
Oh.
even in WWE when
Oh,
you had
the
Rey,
yucky
when you
cruiserweight
had Rey Mysterio, and you had
Jerry.
Jamie Noble. I know you don't like
Jerry.
him. I thought Jamie Noble was probably one of the best cruiserweights on the microphone.
I don't hate Jamie Noble.
I
I
thought
just want to know who
I
stabbed
thought
him.
Jamie Noble's gimmick in the cruiserweight division was the best gimmick. He was that redneck. Fucking, he had Nydia with him.
Why'd you think I didn't like Jamie Noble? I don't think I've ever said that.
Well, because anytime I ever said his name, you just start laughing.
Well, look what they turned him into in the
Well,
authority.
yeah,
I guess
but
that's
I'm
why.
just saying, as far as his gimmick, I thought that gimmick was more over than anything Chavo Guerrero ever did.
Like when Nydia went blind.
The
and all that
best, the
stuff.
best cruiserweight gimmick you ever had, I think we can both say in 3, 2, 1, Matt Hardy V1.
I didn't say anything, but I agree. I don't know. I just didn't jump to. I was going to say the Hurricane at first. I was like, wait, he wasn't cruiserweight champion, but Matt Hardy would have been my second.
V1.
And now it's even better.
Cutting weight. You remember him cutting weight to make cruiserweight?
That was
Good stuff.
Yeah, this MF for Shannon
Yes.
Moore. They opened WrestleMania just
That-
like WCW
Yes.
used to open
it was
Nitro
him. It was him and Rey Mysterio.
and pay-per-views with cruiserweight matches.
It was
These matches are piss breaks. They've taken the women's spot. It's a
Yeah,
piss
I
break.
think that was the best gimmick in WWE cruiserweight history.
Yeah.
Um,
Then
Ma-
Jamie Noble probably.
Jamie Noble, I think it's got to be second, just because they give him time. These guys have it. You know what I mean? So I would like to see who on this cruiserweight roster has it. Let me see their characters a little more as far as speaking.
I think
They're
it's
not
gonna
giving
be
us
Cedric.
any talk time with them. They're just giving us, we'll give you 30 seconds of talk time, and then we'll give you wrestling.
I'm pretty sure Cedric Alexander probably isn't the best talker. That's just a guess.
I've never heard him talk.
Tag team title match, Michael. The Odd Couple, Cesaro, 007, and Sheamus against the New Day of the Streak
For the strips.
for the straps. It was Xavier Woods and Big E. Interesting choices.
Yeah. Now, how is that legal, by the way? I've wanted to bring this
Freebird
up for a
rules.
long time.
Because they always say it's the Freebird rules, like
That's
the Shield.
stupid.
The Shield did it. It was more modern. It is. I mean, but
Stupid.
it's wrestling.
You pick two and go with them.
It's pro wrestling.
Xavier Woods is not a tag team champion.
If you say Freebird rules, you can do what you want. It's like calling parlay if you're a pirate.
How's that fair to the challengers? They don't know which two they're wrestling.
Well, is life fair? Is
And
everything fair in this world?
I think far and away, Kofi Kingston's the best worker out of all three.
Well, most experienced.
How do you have him out of the match?
The match itself was good.
And you take away that dynamic with Xavier Woods with his instrument.
He's not terrible in the ring.
Well, I'm not saying he is, but
I think
he's
you've said in the
noticeably.
past you could see him in the cruiserweight division.
Yeah, he's noticeably small when it comes to that. I think he belongs more in the cruiserweight division. I think he could be cruiserweight champion. I love his charisma.
I think he'll get a singles run.
I think him and Enzo both could be in that cruiserweight division and fucking really bolster it as far as charisma goes. I would love to see both of them. How would you love to see Xavier Woods versus Enzo in a mic battle?
Well, we've seen that, I think, when they.
I'm just
I
saying,
think there's more to
for
come.
maybe a cruiserweight championship.
Yeah, that would be good.
That would be like a dream match for me as far as cruiserweight championship. Now, I'm not saying they have maybe cruiserweight styles in the ring, but
You don't need to.
I think as far as
Dean Malenko didn't have
Yeah.
a typical
he was
flippy doodah.
he was a mat wrestler.
Exactly.
I love Dean Malenko in the ring. Actually, a lot of people thought that as a whole, Dean Malenko was boring on a microphone, but in
That's
the
why
ring,
they didn't put him on the mic.
but in the ring, how many botches did you see Dean Malenko do?
Yeah.
Dean Malenko was clean as shit in the ring.
It's as clean as they
Have
come.
you ever seen him have a bad match?
No, I haven't. This match itself wasn't bad. It was a typical
No.
New Day match. The ending was, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but it was a way out of it, I
Schmoz.
guess. It was a good way out of it. You had Cesaro with the sharpshooter on Big E. Xavier in the ring and the sharpshooter. On the outside, at the same time, Kofi attacks Sheamus, who tried to hit him with a trombone. Referee sees that and disqualifies the
New
New
Day.
Day, and then they kept the belts due to disqualification. They needed a way out of it because they shouldn't have ended the streak with a thrown together tag team. I'm glad they didn't. Hopefully this just leads back to a singles feud with Cesaro and Sheamus.
It definitely. I mean, I think we all kind of knew that this was just kind of like something for them to do together.
I don't know. I had a bad feeling about this. I really thought they were gonna give them the belts to make a storyline out of it. I was like, oh, don't do a Team Hell No thing. It's not gonna work. It's Sheamus. It's just not. It's not gonna work.
You love Sheamus.
You say that all the time. That was like 7 years ago when he first.
You
came
loved him. He's the same character he was then. What's
in.
different?
Look what they did to him.
What'd they do?
They ruined it.
He made him lose.
You ruined it, damn it! You ruined it.
He's the same exact
What is
character.
that from? What promo?
You ruined it. You ruined it. It's the Tyson
The
Austin.
Tyson
promo.
promo. You ruined it, damn it! Yeah, that was good.
But he's the same guy he was 7 years ago when you loved him.
He's not the same man.
Why?
He looks like the Red Rooster's steroid freak brother now, for one. But yeah, this match is what it is. Mike was a way out of
You
it.
don't like his chin braids?
He doesn't rock them anymore. Now it's just a fucking straight up beard, Chuck Norris style. It looks just like a Norris beard. It's red and everything. Maybe not as vibrant. You know, it was a great moment. Speaking of Chuck Norris, you guys check it out on the network if you have it. Chuck Norris kicking Jeff Jarrett. Survivor Series 94.
Survivor Series 94.
The casket match.
Yeah.
Good match.
Undertaker and
I
Yoko.
love that feud.
Then Yoko disappeared.
I don't think they ever talk about that feud enough. One of Taker's best, probably. in my
Undertaker
eyes.
got his revenge.
It's main event time. The women, the ladies, main eventing for the first time in history.
That wasn't Royal Rumble, though.
That was Survivor Series
Survivor
94.
Series.
Yeah. That's what I said.
I thought you said Royal Rumble.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
This was the second one.
Yeah. Just checking.
Let's just cover that match instead. No, this match wasn't bad for what it was. The women also Hell in a Cell for the first time. First of all,
It's your main event.
your main event. First time we ever get to say that on the show for pay-per-view post-show. So congratulations to the ladies for one. I am happy for that the women got
They got time.
A lot of people, I think Tom Cushney wasn't thrilled. Your boy.
I didn't hear his take on it.
When he's not busy streaming WWE 2K17, because that's all he does, and drinks chocolate milk.
By the way, he's awful at video games.
Did you check out his video? Because I don't watch. the
he's
videos.
not very good. If I played him on WWE, I would fucking smash him.
They did change the
But you
controls.
should know a lot about that too, because I used to smash the shit out of you too.
Did you have to phrase it like that? Ugh.
Talking about a video game.
That was. Ugh.
I think everybody caught that, except for you.
Main
Took it
event.
to a different place.
First of all, let's move on. They got the WrestleMania entrances. She got the Macho King Randy Savage entrance, Charlotte, with the guys carrying her out on the chair and
At least
everything.
they didn't drop her.
At least they didn't drop her like they did
God.
Macho Man. He was pissed when they did that.
He's
He
not
kicked
even
the guy.
heavy.
He stomped him
Yeah,
in the head.
he's not even heavy. That's what I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Like, how much did the actual pedestal weigh? Because Macho Man's like 240.
You would think that would have happened when it was King Mabel.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck yeah.
When it was like Dwayne Gill and
Even Harley. Harley wasn't light.
Harley wasn't light. He
just
drank
looked-
regular beer.
Not light.
He always had a pistol on him, according to story and legend.
Well, I hope he didn't have one on him when he was working.
We've gone from a historical first time ever main event to Harley Race's drinking habits in about 2 minutes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, they both got the WrestleMania entrances. Sasha Banks, the same entrance in NXT Brooklyn in the Escalade with the bodyguards. All right, go ahead.
Well, it just, to me, like, how
Go ahead. And, first of all, your
urban.
thoughts of this being the main event.
Well, have you ever heard Sasha Banks talk?
Yeah, it's a good promo.
Okay. How much of Sasha Banks, when she speaks, says to you, I'm from urban USA? Like, I'm from South Central.
None of it.
None of it. So this whole boss chains and fucking gimmick that they give her, it's just total crap to me.
Well,
Especially when she comes out with Snoop Dogg, her uncle, and she comes out in an Escalade like she's fucking hood and stuff.
but if she was a heel, they could make that the gimmick where she was like spoiled and pampered and says she's
Yes,
from the streets.
but as far as a baby face
But she's a
goes,
babyface.
it just screams to me fake.
Yep, I agree.
That's what kills me with this. This is why I can't get behind Sasha. At least when
She's not a good babyface.
At least when Charlotte comes out, I feel like Charlotte is more real to me. Like, Charlotte's a bitch.
Seemed like natural.
I like
fit.
it.
She's a flair.
I like it. You know what I mean? Sasha comes out. She does her little.
It turns my crank.
She does
a
her
little
little hand thing.
bit. I've really come around with Charlotte like
You're-
appealing to me.
Well,
If
good.
you know what I'm saying. Like,
I don't
she-
like the attire. I think I think she looks like a man from the waist down.
I don't know, man.
But-
Something about Charlotte. Let's move along.
I would like her a lot better in different ring attire, like maybe the tube top and then some pants instead of the little.
The cutsies.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I call that like shorts.
They're hot
or,
pants. Like
yeah,
disco
but it just
pants.
doesn't look good because Charlotte doesn't have much of an ass,
Roller
and
skating
she
rink
has
in the
man
70s.
and she has man hips. It's just.
Well, let's not make it a sexist pig.
Well, I'm just saying, as far as attire goes, but as far as gimmicks go, Charlotte is definitely the most over
She
woman.
reminds me of Stephanie. I've said it before, and that's a good thing.
Except she can work.
A Stephanie that can work, and I think she's going to go down 5 years from now from this women's revolution as the best there was,
She should be.
because she is right now.
Charlotte can work with anyone.
People don't like Charlotte, I guess. I don't know if that's
They're
because she's
supposed
doing
to.
such a good job.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I'm telling you right now, in our opinion, she is the best woman on the roster. And you can disagree if
I'm
you
glad
want,
you
but
finally came around.
I'm saying we're right.
Because a couple months ago, you weren't singing that tune.
I
You
stuck
thought
around.
she was boring and...
What I'll never understand about Erica Mard, and I don't shit talk people like you, but I will say this: he is a huge fucking Nikki Bella fan, and this is where we always split ways.
Ugh.
And so is our friend Melody, our loyal listener Melody. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I just don't. She's not bad in the ring, but she's not great.
She's not believable as a babyface.
And her
Have you ever watched
personality.
her fucking show?
But it seems
She's
like
a spoiled, rotten,
Yeah.
rich...
what is
fucking
appealing
snobby
about
bitch.
Nikki Bella? Would you want to know Nikki Bella in real life?
No, she's a snobby bitch.
Yeah.
If she looked at you and I, she'd go, ew.
Exactly. Well, a lot of people do that. Let's be real.
Well, I'm
That's
just
why
saying.
we're on a podcast.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I don't think we're bad-looking men. But to her,
Are
we
the
don't have
Beverleys?
money.
Are we the Beverleys?
No.
Who is?
Well, we don't have mullets.
Because we're butt cheeks.
We don't have mullets, thank God.
No, but I agree.
But I
She's
think
a bitch.
if you and I walked up to her, she'd, and you know, hey, can we get you on our podcast? Oh, you don't have money, do you? No.
Well,
Ew.
what member of the roster is
I'm
gonna-
just-
They're
I'm
not
just-
allowed by their contract.
No, but I guarantee you there's some people on that roster who'd be like, sure.
Bailey,
She would
I
not
think-
be one of them.
I think that's what makes Bailey a great babyface in the end, because you can picture
Well, she's
Bailey.
more real,
Exactly.
but I just don't like that huggy gimmick.
But
I think it's stupid.
Sorry, Erica Marta. We're always gonna
Nikki
butt
Bella
heads on
is a
this.
snobby bitch. I think if it hasn't been shown on television enough, you need to watch it more. Because all she cares about is money, clothing, and her appearance.
Well, all I care about right now is getting through this main event and getting this show wrapped up.
But Charlotte is your new women's champion.
Well, let's
once
talk about how the
again.
match started. They had the in-ring. They left the cell above the ring this time. It didn't lower it till they're in the ring, which I thought added a lot to the match. They didn't do that in the other two. But while they was doing this, Charlotte attacked Sasha, which looked good. Powerbombed her through a table to the outside, which looked brutal. Sasha sold the back injury. They hauled her off on a stretcher, Mick Foley style, from that Hell in a Cell match. They were about to announce Charlotte as the new champ. Here's where my problems started. Psychology. Sasha was in a neck brace, strapped, and mysteriously when they announced that, she was fine. She's getting up. Within 2 minutes, she was beating the shit out of Charlotte.
Yeah.
And then she was supposed to have an injured back and all this stuff.
Wasn't selling it.
Wasn't selling that back at all. Doing things you would not do with a hurt back. She did a little bit towards the end where she went for like a power bomb into a table and she gave out, her back gave out, but, William was off the rose. I mean, where were you earlier with that? In my opinion, I thought the psychology was bad. I know a lot of people said this was a good match. I didn't think it was bad. Just this match.
I don't think it was their best match, but I felt like for the first women's
It
Hell
was
in a
fun.
Cell,
It was fun.
it was kind of hard for them to really
I'm
ever.
just nitpicky with my
Well, yeah,
wrestling.
it's just hard.
That's all
It was
is.
going to be hard for them to ever live up to expectations when they're put as the main event.
And good luck following that Rollins match tonight.
And it's the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match. Especially in the PG era, how are you supposed to get this over?
Yeah. They did tease at the beginning, both climbing up on the top of the cage. And I
Yeah.
thought they were going
But
up.
maybe they were going to do a spot,
Yeah.
but they didn't.
The crowd went apeshit, and then there was a table spot to the outside, which looked bad. It was just Charlotte falling off the apron, and the table barely broke. The crowd completely nosedived on that part. It kind of took a lot of steam from the match. And it also took steam earlier when they teased going to the top, and then the crowd booed, of course. The crowd is always going to boo if you tease it. You cannot tease that. You've got to put it in.
Don't you go up to the top if you're not going to do something crazy.
You cannot just put the tip
You
in
don't
a
just
Hell in
go
a
on
Cell
top.
match.
You
You've got to
don't-
penetrate the
Yeah.
puss. You've got to
don't-
do it.
You don't go up to the top of the cell if you're not going to fuck. All right? Basically.
That is
in
like
wrestling terms.
That is like one of those gimmick matches where you cannot tease that.
No.
I don't mean to keep saying that, but
Yeah.
goddamn, and they fucking tease
In
it.
wrestling terms, you don't go up to the top of the pussy if you're not going to fuck it.
That is one of the most excited.
You don't
can
lick
get
it. You
a
don't lick
wrestling
that
fan.
clitoris if you're not going to fucking make it happy.
Well, let's clean it up a little bit. Let's get a mop. Where's
No,
Perry
I'm
Saturn?
not
We need a
clean.
mop. Moppy.
I'm
Remember
not
Moppy?
clean, but I'm just saying. You don't go down and do work if you're just going to tease it.
But
Like,
think about
okay, babe, I'm done.
Would you say, in your opinion, seriously, some of the most exciting moments as a fan is when guys are climbing the top of Hell in a Cell because it's so
You
unexpected?
know something's going to happen.
Or something bad could happen.
Yeah.
That's something you just can't.
You know
put the
somebody's
tip
going
in.
off that cell.
But they did that, and that's when it was just, Charlotte fell down. Then it was the powerbomb through the table. But
Just
wow.
like WrestleMania with Shane McMahon and Undertaker. You knew Shane was going to go off that cell.
Not to keep making it sexual, but to take it from teasing going on the top of the cell to just power bombing her on the floor through the table, even though that's supposed to be a big. That's like teasing going all the way, but you just give a hand job. You still come, but you
Yeah.
know what I mean. Not to make it gross. We don't
You
have
made
kids.
it gross.
If you have kids listening to our show, you're a bad parent. You're a horrible parent.
I don't think I ever said the word come.
First time for
Congratulations.
first women's main event and the first use of the word "come." What does that say?
Surprise.
Slam pigs.
Travis is a slam pig.
I'm just saying it was a reference to teasing going to the top, but you're on board. I think
I
everyone
get
else
it.
is on board.
I get it. But like I said, you can't tease that and not do it.
They did, and the crowd shit on it, and
They still had a good match.
Here's the worst part of the match. How you
There-
got to the worst part of the match? Muddy?
Were there any weapons used besides tables?
Yes, a chair. Sasha did her knees thing in the
Yeah.
corner with the chair. Hit her with the chair a couple times.
How much was the cell really utilized?
It was used a good bit as far as like gymnastic spots. Sasha
didn't
hung
think
on
it-
like Spider-Man,
I
did her
didn't-
knees to the
I didn't
top.
think-
That was cool, man.
I didn't think it was used enough.
Well, it's PG era, like you said.
I just.
Nostalgia era.
Why are you having a fucking Hell in a Cell pay-per-view then? That's my biggest issue with this whole. If I was gonna do a Logan Mears fired up, that would be my biggest issue. Why are you gonna have a fucking Hell in a Cell match and not have enough cell used? It's horse shit. Makes me want to fucking slit my own throat because they took a pay-per-view called Hell in a Cell. They had 3 Hell in a Cell matches, and was the cell used enough in any of the matches?
Here's the thing. Why not just make all the fucking matches a Hell in a Cell
Because
match?
that
You got
would be,
3.
That would be overkill.
No, it wouldn't. It would be right on par for the fucking course in 2016.
It just
You
makes-
know what's in 2 months? TLC.
Yeah.
15 fucking ladder matches
Yeah.
are coming our way in 2 months.
Exactly.
And then in another 2 months, Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
The Burger King
Hey,
griddle.
that I actually like because you could have every.
But what's it mean?
You could have
what the fuck?
You could have every title. That's the one gimmick pay-per-view that I look forward to that they're bringing back. Elimination Chamber.
I hate this time of year in WWE because it's nothing but gimmick fucking pay-per-views. And you know what it does? It desensitizes a crowd and it desensitizes me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but think about it. As far as Elimination Chamber goes, I think that could be one of the best pay-per-views of the year. Because you can put almost... I wish they would
They're
make
bringing it back. For people like you, I love that gluttony.
I wish they would make that pay-per-view a 4-hour-long pay-per-view and made it a co-promotion. Because they could have every title on the line for both shows, including the tag titles.
Yeah.
Including the tag titles. You could have a
tag elimination.
You could have your first ever tag title Elimination Chamber match.
I'm just so disgusted right now.
This
pay-per-view really
I think
pissed
that
me
I
off.
think because you're gonna see some shocking moments in that because you're gonna have 5-6 people in each match.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be awesome because it's Elimination Chamber. I've never been disappointed in an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. That's one of the only pay-per-views.
I've seen some shitty elimination, but R-Truth was in one. That was a shitty
Yeah,
one.
but he didn't win.
He was in it.
I'm just saying.
He had to have an entrance. He had to
Was
spend time on R-Truth in a main event.
Was the fucking pay-per-view shitty because of that?
Oh, I hate
No,
that time.
it
of
wasn't.
wrestling. God, I hate those years.
It wasn't.
That's going to go down to
But-
some of the worst years
But
ever.
imagine how many Elimination Chamber matches you've had where you're like, holy shit,
Yeah.
that guy won.
I know.
Or you get down to the last 3 people, and none of them were anybody that you picked to win.
Unfortunately, we're talking about Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And the ending, the worst is still to come right now. The ending of this match was a combination, Michael. It's a little smoothie, a wrestling smoothie, of botching, shitty psychology, shitty booking, and a shitty crowd. The table was set in the corner by Charlotte. The spot, as I see it, was supposed to be her whipping her by the hair, Lunger Blaze style, through the table into the corner. Table's supposed to break into Charlotte's little flippy move, throwback John Cena thing, or finisher, bow down, or
The
whatever
Hail to
the
the
fuck
Queen
it's called.
or whatever it
Stu-
is.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It should be the figure 4. And that was
Figure
supposed to be okay. The table didn't break the first time.
So we
Tried
gotta
it
do
again. Guess what? Didn't happen.
Didn't happen again.
That was a moment of awkwardness, a little bit of
Well,
side-
Sasha Banks is fucking 100 pounds.
and she was totally thrown around like a rag doll. That did look good, but then it just happened so sudden. It kind of botched her finish too, her little flippy move. 1, 2, 3 out of nowhere. The crowd stunned silent. I was stunned silent because let's backtrack. How many, when the draft first happened, the very first Raw of the new era, Sasha Banks beats Charlotte for the women's title, gets injured, has to take the belt off. They do the exact same thing on Raw again. This time, there was a corkscrew moonsault. That's the only difference, pretty much.
Great spot.
Sasha Banks wins again, gets her momentum back. Then this happens. My thing coming out of
Charlotte still undefeated on pay-per-view.
this, 3-time women's champion now, Michael. My thing coming out of this, guys, I don't think the match was bad, so don't crucify me on that. I think the ending was shit. The psychology was pretty bad. And what this does to Sasha Banks' character? Now her character is she can never win on the big stage at a pay-per-view. She's a choke artist / she's injury prone. She's always hurt.
Could set her up for that heel turn.
You know, that,
Maybe they have her wrestle
that's
Bayley.
all I got on that.
Maybe tomorrow on Raw they have her wrestle Bayley
For a number 1 contender.
for a number 1 contender, and
Heel her.
say she loses
Heal her.
and she turns heel.
By healing
She
her,
gets tired.
you're healing her.
She gets tired of losing the big one,
Yeah.
and that's how you turn her
That's
heel.
like your only way out.
Yeah.
And a fresh start. Jesus Christ.
That would be.
I
what
literally,
do
when
with
this
her.
happened, even this though, I was so caught up in the women main eventing. It was just as weird as Orton and Wyatt last month. I was like, what the fuck happened when the show ended? Because the crowd was just like a pin
Well, it's
drop.
Randy Orton. You got to have him in the main event.
Even in that match, you
It's
can hear
Randy.
a fucking,
It's Randy. He's
That's
got a main event. He's a
two-
proven star.
Yeah.
He's got a main event this pay-per-view. Hunter.
Dad, it's a new era. Yeah.
Well, new era or not, Randy Orton's main event in this pay-per-view.
This is 2 pay-per-views back to back where the crowd was dead by the end of the show because the misplacement. Like I said, I'm happy for the women. It went better in this, the placement, than
It's gonna
the
be
main.
it's gonna be the same thing at Survivor Series. Sorry to cut you off, but it's
Well,
good.
Brock and Goldberg are main event.
They
this
gotta
year.
close, damn
They
it.
gotta close it. The fans are the most invested in it. This is what's drawing the tickets, God damn it.
Who's next?
Yeah,
Who's last?
yeah. That's what it's going to be.
That's all I got for the quite frankly, I can't wait for our next show because this pay-per-view sucked. For me, overall grades across the board, I'm going with the
Well,
solid.
compared to No Moisey.
Huh?
Compared to No Moisey, our last post show.
What did I give number? A D? D plus?
What do you give this?
I'm going to give this a C minus.
So it was better than SmackDown pay-per-view.
It was better than No Mercy.
Even though the SmackDown show overall has been better than Raw.
And that's weird. But yeah, that's how I
But
feel.
this was a gimmick pay-per-view, so that's kind of unfair.
True. Well, you brought up comparing it to the
I'm
last
just
one.
saying-
I didn't want to do that.
Raw for me has been lackluster because I don't feel like it's been booked correctly, kind of like SmackDown's pay-per-view, but I feel like the Raw show itself has been booked kind of weird for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Everything just seems weird in wrestling.
I don't understand what they're trying. It's like they're trying to shake it, like they're taking a big bottle of wrestling
Yeah.
and they're trying to shake the fucking fizz out of the top.
You
and
cannot keep shaking the two later though, because
No.
eventually it's gonna implode or explode
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck.
I don't know what you're doing here, but I feel like you're going the wrong direction. And the only constant that I feel like there is in WWE right now is NXT.
Exactly. Exactly. And all they're doing is turning away casual fans and frustrating the loyal fans that'll watch no matter what, like us. Because as much as we complain, we're gonna watch. It's just but it's frustrating.
It's a part-time job.
Just look at that photo I talked about, the top of the show, the top of the hour, about all the hundreds of retweets already. Not a face in that crowd looks pleased, content, and all look either confused. There was a little girl crying, bawling in her father's arms, or pissed off. That's it. And that's a great metaphor.
So you have one little girl that was emotionally invested in that main event.
pretty much.
Congratulations.
She was like 6.
Yeah. Congratulations, WWE.
And that's pretty much the state of wrestling right now. And that's a depressing way to end the show. And I hate to do that, but I got nothing left this week.
Guys, I don't know where we go from this. This is
Thankfully, there's shows like Slam Pig Cinema to look
Yeah.
forward to each
thank
week.
God.
Jesus Christ.
We're gonna have to do some more after this show tonight just to get my morale up
get
a
the
little bit.
stink off of me from this show.
Guys, I don't know how you feel about this pay-per-view. Let us know. What did you think of Hell in a Cell tonight? Because Travis and I have kind of gotten to the point where we're just like...
the only reason I think both of us keep watching is for you guys.
Yeah.
For this show.
Well, not just that, but we keep waiting for that one pay-per-view that's going to be like, all right, like we had a few months ago.
Yeah.
What was
It's just not coming though.
Yeah,
It's going down.
It's getting to the point where we're like, come on.
And quite frankly, it's getting to the point, at least for me, where I'm like, I got better shit to do. I don't want to watch you. So there was nothing on the show I was hyped for going in. I said on Twitter earlier today.
Aside from Rollins and
I wasn't even hyped for that because of the whole booking of it, like we said earlier with Jericho.
I actually was excited about Reigns and Rusev.
Ugh.
I thought this would be
That was like the bottom of my
well,
list.
I thought this would be their best match because of the style
Was
of the
it,
rivalry.
in your mind?
I felt like this was their second best match.
The best match was at Clash of Champions.
The best match was on Raw.
On Raw, excuse me. When Roman, when he
Roman,
defended.
when they wrestled for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was actually like nothing but nonstop action and teasers of who's going to win the match. I thought that was their best. That was one. I think that was their first match too, like their first real long match when they were just wrestling for Lana's honor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it was just
that was their best match, and then the next week at SummerSlam they didn't even have a match. So it was kind of like, why would you waste that? I think we went over that before.
Yeah, we already went
Why
over
did they waste that on Raw and not had that at SummerSlam?
I think the bottom line for me, it's sad when James Ellsworth is the most entertaining thing on all of WWE right now. And AJ Styles is totally... I'm on board with AJ Styles as champion. I'm totally a SmackDown fan right now, more than Raw. I'm team.
It's definitely
Blue.
more interesting. And it's the shorter show.
Exactly. And WWE's got themselves into a rut with that third hour under the contracts with the network. Look what you did.
They're just not booking it right.
Look what you did, you little jerk, Vince. Jesus.
Little Home Alone.
Let's do some Slam Pigs cinema to get my mind. I'm Travis. Follow us on Twitter at Slam Pigs Podcast or Hibiki TMD. Just did a bunch of Halloween stuff for the channel this month, Michael. This is our Halloween episode. Maybe we'll have to do a Halloween Slam Pig cinema. I could think of a great Halloween theme.
Not doing
with
it.
like when the Iron Sheik and Macho
doing
Man were in their
it. I'm
costumes.
not fucking doing it.
JYD.
I'm not doing a gimmick fucking cinema. It's stupid. They're going to have a Halloween Raw tomorrow. It's going to be bad enough.
I hate those.
Jesus Christ.
The worst are
the only ones I liked are the old school Raws.
Yeah. The special shows.
Yes.
I mean.
But as far as this goes, guys.
Facebook group. Tell them about the Facebook group. I didn't get to mention that. We started talking about the Iron Sheik in a costume. Well, I was getting the plugs in, then we went off the rails. I thought
You
you were
went
gonna...
off the rails about your Iron Sheik Halloween.
But they
fucking
can
promo.
join the Facebook group.
When have you ever
Michael.
seen the Iron Sheik in Halloween costume? That's what he wears
And this-
all the time.
He was dressed as Batman in this fucking promo in '85. I swear to God. That's why I want to do it.
Russia.
He had the mask.
Yeah.
Facebook group, Michael. We are the most what?
Interactive wrestling podcast on the internet.
We'll
by
answer
far.
anything. Answer anything.
Any of it. I don't care if you're hopping Bruce Biggs and you're a big old fucking flamer, or if you're Melody, Sasha Janine, Lee. Well, I'm not putting Lee in there. Sorry. Can I take that one
I
back?
haven't heard from Lee Stir in a while.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with
Professor Lee.
Yeah.
Probably working a lot.
Either that or he's jacking off a lot. But
Jesus Christ.
well, obviously with 2 fingers because it's Lee. He only needs 2 fingers for that little thing.
Well, that's all
But-
for me this week. So
But
I'm signing off on 2
Janine-
fingers. I'm
No,
signing
no.
off.
Sasha Janine, Melody Ann, Mary Hatcher. We appreciate you. One, because you're absolutely beautiful.
Here we go.
They are.
You're pretty much
We've
married.
seen because of all 3 of them.
Calm down, Brick Martel.
Is there any one of the 3 that you would not go?
Also,
You didn't answer.
I don't need to. Everyone that
Answer it.
everyone that helps.
Answer it.
They're beautiful people.
Thank
Are
you.
you happy? And everyone that helps us with the show, the Bagel Guy, Erica Mard,
What have they done?
Logie
What have they
Mears,
done?
for when they join us. What did the Bagel Guy
What did
do?
Erica Mard do for us tonight?
Internet problems.
Nothing.
Internet issues.
problems? Are you kidding me?
He won't even
Because
upload.
he wanted to get his little Canadian sleep in.
He's not even able to upload his own new videos.
Oh,
so
that's
I believe
horseshit.
him. I believe him.
It's horseshit. He'll have a new video tomorrow morning. Fucking, first thing in the morning.
Maybe next week we'll
With
try.
Elliot. I'm sure he ditched us for that British fuck.
You know, it's like fucking 7 in the morning over there. I'm sure that
No, it's not. He's on Eastern time zone.
England.
Erica Mard.
I'm talking about England.
Oh,
I thought you were talking about Elliot.
Oh, no. Well, Elliot, we know he doesn't have any fucking life. Have you ever heard him
Oh, I
talk?
thought they were gonna say balls.
Jesus Christ, I can't remember. I could fathom to think when that man has ever had a female companion.
But for Michael,
Ever?
thank you for joining me.
Ever?
I don't want to answer anymore.
He has
I'm
never,
done.
I guarantee you, he has probably not had a female companion since the Power Rangers era.
God.
Who's your favorite? Oh, wait for it.
I was
wait.
like 9.
Hold on. Who's your favorite cheeky ranger? I like the cheeky pink ranger.
Why is everything cheeky over there? What does that mean?
I don't understand it
I always
either.
wonder that.
I don't
Like
get
it can be
You
used
ever
for
wonder
so
that?
many things. You ever wonder that? Why is it cheeky? For Michael, I'm Travis. Thank you guys for joining us. Slam Pigs 33 is in the books. Michael, let's watch some bad wrestling.
Yes,
We'll
please.
see you guys next week. Take us home, Michael.
Thanks, guys, once again. Joining in. Slam Pigs 33 in the books. We're ready for 34 next week, guys. Travis doesn't want to do a Raw review, but we're probably going to have to.
Next week we will.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
Hopefully rolls.
We're getting ready for Survivor Series. I'm excited because I don't even remember half of my predictions for this show. I'm excited to listen to the last show. If you guys haven't listened to any of our recent shows, make sure to hit that like, subscribe button. Make sure to listen to not just this show, but all of our shows.
Well, I got to step out of the studio. Thank you guys so much. I got to take a raging pee. So see you
Travis
next
is
week.
taking the Rage and Pee. Make sure to listen to all of our shows. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I listened to our first show a couple weeks ago. It was not good. I'm so happy with how we've come along on this show. Every week to me gets more and more fun. Whether the wrestling gets more and more shitty, it's still more fun with Travis and I. We appreciate everyone that listens to the show. Good, bad feedback. We always will answer every question. Whether you like us, hate us, whatever. We're going to answer you. Good, bad, ugly. We're going to be back here next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good evening.
This is Slam Pigs Podcast.